Hey YouTubers, I just wanted to give one final short video update on my homemade wood stove. I built this from a big tall propane cylinder. I cut it down to the size I wanted. It'll take about a 2-foot log. And I didn't use stove paint. I used 2000 degree automotive paint. I think they use that like on exhaust manifolds and stuff like that. But it's working really well. I do burn wood in that, and I also had this big pile of laminate flooring that had gotten wet once, and I replaced it, and I just got it stacked up outside. So I bring some of it in, it dries out a little bit, and I kind of mix it in with the firewood and let that burn too, so it kind of uses less wood also. And then I also make these great big giant paper logs. I'll do in another video that I burn in there, and they last for several hours. So, but over here I've got the air control. Here it's just on a through bolt. There's a flapper inside that opens and closes with it. Here's a hinge. I think it cost me $1 something at the hardware store. The cylinder was free. The angle iron somebody had, and it was free. The only thing I really had to pay for was the stovepipe. And I did put this through a window. I'm sitting kind of on the ground, but those curtains are several inches above the stovepipe, so I've made sure that they're away from that, and I check them all the time. But I just opened the window, and I cut out a piece of sheet metal and put it up to sealed it up to the window, and then put the stovepipe through that. So the outside of the the frame and perimeter of the window, it does not get hot. Sometimes it gets just barely warm to the touch. The curtains are about 6 or 7 inches above that stovepipe. Like I said, I'm sitting below the window, so it looks close, but it's really not. And then of course the stack goes on the outside of the shop here and up, and that seems to work out pretty well. So I've got 2 positions. If I can see that. Well, it's on the first position right now. It's got 2 positions. One, the first notch keeps it slightly cracked open, so when I'm adding logs to the fire, or I'm starting the fire for the first time or whatever. And then I've got the second position to tightly close the door. And the door didn't exactly, because I cut the tank, didn't really close over it, so I cut a whole bunch of slits right there and banged them in slightly so the door would shut over that, and it does not leak smoke at all. It does a great job. I was afraid I was going to need to put welds over all those little slits there, but it doesn't leak. It does a good job. It heats the room really well. It doesn't blow off smoke, so I'm not going to do anything with that until, if it ever causes a problem, I will. Here's where I took the valve out here, and I just I found a washer that fit that hole where the valve was, and I welded it in there, and then I welded a bolt onto the washer and put a hole through the angle iron and a couple of nuts to hold it on there and adjust. So I just opened her up, and you can see a couple pieces of laminate flooring in there, and the wood got a good cranking fire going on there. At the top, right underneath the smokestack, you see a curved piece. It's curved upwards, and that's another piece of metal. It's a baffle. So the smoke and the flames they hit against that, and the purpose of it is to keep the flames more inside the stove instead of shooting just straight up the stovepipe. You can't shoot straight up, it has to travel around. And the same way for the smoke. The draw is really good. It draws through there. The smoke has to go up and around the baffle and then out the chimney, and that just makes it more efficient. And then you can see the hole there to the airflow control right there. So, but it works really well. Burns for several hours. I can burn all that laminate or whatever else I want to, and paper logs all mixed in with the wood. Kind of cuts down my wood consumption. But overall, it does a good job. This shop of mine is 12 by 20, and it keeps it about 75 or 76 degrees in here all the time I'm running the stove, so it works out really well. So that's the last update on that. If you got any questions, just let me know. Thanks for watching.